Now, the most powerful vision with passion that happened for me was about 25 years ago. And it's a vision where you can actually feel yourself doing it. And you could say I was exposed to a set of circumstances that was like the perfect storm. And I mean that in the most positive sense. But there I was, a secretary, realizing that this was just so not me. And right about that same time, I heard somebody say, wouldn't it be great if we could all do in life what we wanted to, as opposed to just falling into jobs and careers? And that's when I realized I had just fallen into my job. And if I were to really be doing what I wanted to in life, what would it be? And so I remembered having this recurring dream where I was flying nap of the earth over hill and dale, with the wind blowing through my hair and this incredible feeling of freedom. And I would wake up feeling so good about life every time I had that dream. But I thought, how could I possibly turn that dream into a career? And it was right about that same time I'm driving home in traffic from my secretarial job when I heard a radio commercial that would change my life forever. And it was an LAPD recruitment commercial, speaking about the different opportunities with the department. And when they said I could even fly helicopters for the Air Support Division, I said, that's it. That's how I could turn this dream into a career. So I started researching, and what I found out was that I needed 5 years in street patrol, a commercial rating in aviation, and also that no woman had been chosen for this before. I also realized I had no prior experience and no friends or family members even remotely involved with police work or aviation. And for some reason, I don't know why, I was not discouraged. I just started writing a to-do list of all the things that I would need to accomplish in order to achieve this goal. And so, along with my to-do list, I also completed or started a vision board that gives you all kinds of ideas and pictures and things that add momentum to your passion. And so I wanted to share with you one of the first pictures on my vision board, which is what I made, and it will give you an idea of what I'm talking about as far as vivid imagination. Because you have to remember that I was doing this when I was still a young secretary. Sleep tight, Los Angeles. Terri Lincoln is on patrol. So the first thing on my checklist was to get processed to become an LAPD officer. And I entered the police academy and found myself marching before dawn, wearing no makeup and men's clothes. I was devastated. I remember one time running up the hills with the PR-24, and it was getting so heavy, so I thought I'd be clever and do the switch, the quick switch, right? But a drill instructor caught me and said, "Lincoln, what's your strong arm?" And I said, "I'm ambidextrous, sir." But I knew I was in great big trouble. And so then he says, "Lincoln, are you crying?" I said, "No, sir, I'm sweating." But the good news was, I graduated from the academy, and you can see how happy I was. There was one event closer towards my goal, and that was I become an LAPD officer. At the 5 years, Air Support also began advertising for the observer position. And so I applied for the position, and they decided to give me a chance, and I got the job. And I remember going home and thinking to myself, wow, isn't it amazing how powerful our imaginations can be? 1 minute I'm pacing my head in the helicopter, and the next minute I'm putting on an LAPD helmet. So I just thought that that was pretty darn amazing. But there I was, once again, learning 2 jobs at the same time. I'm learning how to be an observer on one hand and paying very, very close attention to what the pilots are doing on the other side, because that's eventually where I want to be. I went in for my pilot oral, and I was selected. I got the job. Thank you, that was great, it was wonderful. And I went into the pilot training program, and there I am graduating and receiving my pilot wings, and it was a wonderful, wonderful moment in time for me. So there I was, flying patrol, catching criminals and fighting crime. And I landed for a break, and I said, for the first time, I'm going to take a break. I'm not picking up the flight manuals, I'm going to pick up a Glamour magazine. And so there I am, I'm flipping through the pages, and I come across this ad. A stunt woman jumping out of a window, and the next photo is her all glamored up with the caption, "Anything is possible if you dare." So I looked at that ad and I started to get that feeling again, like I could do that. And so in small print was the company information that said they were based in Chicago. So I called Chicago and I said, "Hi, this is Terri Lincoln. I just saw your ad in the magazine. I'd like to do your next magazine spread and I'm very anxious to get started." And the lady says, "Well, who are you? Are you an actress or a model or what?" And I said, "No, I'm just a woman with a daring job." So she says, "Oh, well then you're in luck. We just happen to have a contest open to the general public. And if you'd like, I'll send you the information." So I completed all the information at essay photo contest, mailed off the copy, kept a copy for myself, and I'm sitting here staring at the wall, looking at what I had submitted. And just like that, the phone rings. And it's Chicago. And they said, "Terri Lincoln, we're calling to advise you that you have won our grand prize of the Anything is Possible If You Dare competition." So here it is. And I got to do the next magazine spread. How cool is that? If you think about it, just that one little action principle of making that call, and things happen. And you can't believe how I said once again, "Wow, isn't it amazing the power of our imaginations?" So anyway, I felt very lucky, very happy. And I thought, I want to share this. I want to bring this back to the division, and I want to start doing something. And I think I'm going to apply for the actual flight instructor position. Because after all, anything is possible if you dare. So I applied for the position, and I was accepted. And I was excited, but I was also apprehensive because, traditionally speaking, the flight instructors at Air Support are the big, old, very experienced men that will assuredly save your life during death-defying maneuvers. And here I come bebopping in and said, "Hi, I'm your new flight instructor." And I was really concerned how the students would accept me. But it turned out better than anybody could have possibly imagined. We had a common goal. Mine was to teach and theirs was to learn. And it worked out beautifully. And they even gave me the nickname of Mama. And the reason that I got that nickname is because as we were performing these death-defying maneuvers to the ground, either without a tail rotor, without an engine, or without hydraulics, as we're coming closer and closer to the ground, the students would scream, "Mama!" But they knew I was there to save their life, and I did every day, and it was probably the most rewarding position I'd ever had on the department. But for those of you who don't know, the helicopter can be very, very hard on a person's body. And so it was my body that said, "It's time to retire." So I hung up my wings and I retired. And I was at home and I was thinking about my career, just reflecting on my career, thinking back to that day nearly 25 years earlier when I first heard that LAPD recruitment commercial and how I was so full of hope. And nearly 25 years later, I'm looking back on that same day feeling so full of gratitude. And I was just having this overwhelming sense of appreciation, and just like that, the phone rings. And it's Captain Williams from Air Support. And he said, "Terri Lincoln, I'm calling to advise you have just been selected as Officer of the Year." So I was so grateful. But I said, "Captain, I'm honored, but I must remind you, I don't work there anymore." He said, "Oh, I know, I remember." But but he just said, "It's just for all the things that you've done for your career, and that's why you're going to be selected." So here we are at our ceremony. And so it was a wonderful day and time, a wonderful moment, and I just felt so much appreciation. But I have to tell you, the most wonderful, memorable moment for me in my entire career was the day that Chief Bratton shook my hand and said, "Terri Lincoln, congratulations on your retirement and welcome back as a reserve." And then he pinned my reserve badge on me, and that's why I'm here today. So, all of this to say that we are all limited only by our imaginations. Because it starts with a vision, you add a few action principles, you reach out for that support, help, and advice, and it ends with living the dream. So thank you. Thank you very much.